I'm your host, Jahze Yvette, and this is Too Many Opinions. I'm sitting with my guest, Joey BadA, and this is Tapping Into Your Superpower. So, I was very, nervous, not just particularly for this interview, just this week. This week has been, I think, energy-wise, I've been, questioning a lot. And I've had, a lot of things that go back and forth in my head and, just a lot of doubt, people canceling on me, a bunch of stuff. And I found this clip of you that I want to play right now, and we're going to expand on that.
Okay.
You could look around, you could scan the room, and you could tell who's praying. Praying is part of manifesting. Praying is affirmation, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people who are frustrated in life, they're not the ones that's praying, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're praying every day, what you're doing is you have to allow space for the universe or God or whatever it is that you call it to run its course. The people who are frustrated, they're more mad that they can't have the whole thing in their control. You know what I'm saying? That's why prayer is super important and is a vital aspect of manifesting, because it's you're programming your subconscious to think a certain way, to feel a certain way every day. You know what I mean? It's you're accepting the fact that you're abundant. Even though you don't have the things that you want, you may have the things that you need, you know what I'm saying, to get to where you want.
Ooh, when you said that, it just kind of hit me. It hit me because I think right now, in the climate that we're in, so many people are frustrated. But I think so many people are praying too. So when you say those words, when you say if someone's praying, they can't have frustration, what did you mean by that?
Well, I don't mean that you can't have frustration, right? Because it's natural that sometimes we're going to get frustrated, because the truth is there's many of us who are on the right path, right? Doing everything right, doing everything correctly, and still not getting the results that we want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the prayer is almost part of the submission, because, you got to understand that everything is not in your control. There are, like the way I like to look at it, right? First of all, this is a whole, we could talk about this forever. But the way I like to look at it is you gotta meet God or the universe or whatever halfway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not just all external and it's not all internal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You just gotta make sure that you do what you need to do to be prepared for the opportunity when the opportunities present itself.
Because in a space, again, I'm speaking just in 2023, frustration sometimes doesn't even have to come from you. It's just the things that's going on around the world. I'm thinking, the cops killing,
right,
us as people, or, the president of the United States, Donald Trump, and all the stuff that it's you sit with this frustration, you sit with all this anxiety.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm sitting there and I'm manifestation is so key to me, it's so powerful. And I think that's how I ended up even having all of this. And I had to take a step back, was listen to Joey's words. If you manifest this, if this is something that you really want, you don't have to have no fear. You don't have to have no frustration.
Yeah.
So, I really just thought that clip hit with tons of brook.
You got to just stay aligned. Once you stay aligned with what your purpose is, you can easily submit and you can easily trust that everything that's occurring is necessary to occur. It's sometimes your path is being cleared.
Yeah.
And, you can't see that. You don't have that foresight, that vision. So you just, you got to be patient.
So I want to play this next clip. I actually have two clips, but I want to play these next two clips, and I just want to get your perspective on it.
Okay.
So powerful yesterday at the Mental Wealth Expo when Maxwell asked you, what's the definition of a man? How do you define a man?
Yeah, you can't define him. Once you allow yourself to be defined, you can't be anything and everything you have to be at any given moment. That's the goal of a man. That's comprehensive manhood. And that's the key, man. If you only feel as a man that you're only a protector and provider, how are you going to be there for your family? How can you have a relationship with your wife and you can only manifest two attributes?
Damn.
You're extremely limited. A friend of mine compared it to that crayon boxes, the ones of 8 and the ones of 64. As men, we take out 3 crayons out the one at 8, and we say we're gonna stay in that area because it feels comfortable, it's safe.
Man.
But the Most High created us to exude all 64 and even more.
So I also want to go to this next clip. This one right here was speaking about manhood, but this next one is kind of speaking about feminine and masculine energy. Mm-hmm. And see how we could combine both conversations.
I didn't have my father around. My mom mothered and fathered me. When she developed dementia, I tried to care for her just being a masculine son. Like, Mama, I'm a worker. I get 2 jobs if I have to make sure I can pay for your medication. And I was about to have a nervous breakdown. And God told me clearly, he says, listen, if you think you're gonna be able to care for your mother only being a masculine male, you can forget about it. She's gonna need you to be compassionate, patient, long-suffering, tender. Those attributes don't fall under masculinity. I learned how to let go through loving her. Without that experience, I wouldn't be the man that I am today. I wouldn't be the teacher I am today. And my mother was the sensei who trained me.
So those 2 clips were very powerful to me. But the first question I have for you, what is your definition of a man?
Well, that clip was definitely interesting for me because I definitely appreciated that perspective of, not simplifying it. Because if you define, then what did he say? He said something
you can't
very
define a
interesting.
man because a man, it's like taking 3 crayons out the box and saying this is just me. But really, you have way more. You got to think about it like it's 64.
Yeah,
crayons.
I love that analogy. I mean, truthfully, I think a man is someone who never gives up on his purpose, and then is motivated by that and ultimately is following that throughout life. Like, that is that person's North Star. And I feel like, you can have a grand purpose, but then there's also so many like other things that fall underneath that, like protecting and providing for your family. 2 crayons, right? Then there's all of the other ones, what I'm saying? Like doing what you got to do, staying healthy, staying physically fit, staying mentally fit, seeking knowledge, learning compassion, having emotional intelligence, really just ever staying, always growing and always learning, you know what I'm saying? And never like settling for a version, like always seeking out the Most High.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, have you ever tapped into your feminine energy yet? I mean, I know men, they tend to just be like, oh, I'm strong, but like, what's that emotional side for you? Like, what's that feminine energy look like?
Well, I was raised by a lot of women.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, when I think about it, I had like 7 mothers, you know what I'm saying? I had my moms, I had my aunts, I had 2 grandmothers, I even had a great-grandmother growing up, cousins who would like, take care of me and stuff like that. So I want to say I've always been tapped into my feminine energy.
Yeah.
It was never like something that I felt like I had to chase or open up to. I mean, once I became a teenager, I felt like I definitely got focused in and locked in on my masculinity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was a whole era, time period in my life where it was just that. But then, as I got older again, I began to find that balance.
It's so crazy because I don't know why, but I feel like I can't find my own feminine energy.
Really?
And I'm a female, yes. I feel so masculine in this state that I'm in right now. Like, I don't know if it's because I've been single for so long or maybe because I, was raised by a single mother, but I feel like everything I do is strong. So even when it comes to like dating or meeting people, they're like, you're strong. Like you come off aggressive. You come off with, masculine energy. And so I found that to be so interesting to me because I'm like, I wonder, as much as I'm in my masculine energy, how many just people in general, not just you being a male or female, how many people actually do tap into that softness, that soft side of me.
It's funny. I mean, I don't, like, as long as I've known you, I don't feel like you've ever had a lack of femininity.
Really?
Nah, not at all. If anything, you're just more balanced than most females.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess most females would be leaning one way where you just are more balanced.
I guess when I say that, it's like, I'll take out my own trash. I don't feel like I need no man. And I
Well, you
want
don't live
one.
with a man, so that's why you're taking out your own trash.
You know, I come in a room and it's a room full of men,
Yeah.
and like I'm like, what's up? Like I'm standing just as strong.
Yeah. You feel comfortable in a room full of men?
I do.
More than in a room full of women?
It's not that.
Nah.
I feel more powerful in a room full of men versus women. I feel more judged in a room with women because I feel like my.
Won't that like be comfortability though, in a way?
It depends if you're confident or not. I feel like if you're confident, then you can
Then
walk.
yeah.
But if you're not, you're gonna be like, you know, what am I doing? So you know, for me again, I wanna learn that feminine energy. I wanna see how to tap in. And when I saw that video of him being so soft with his mother, I had took a step back because I'm like, maybe I am in my feminine energy. You know, recently my grandmother passed, and I just remember her passing away, and I just was wiping her down, and I was loving her, and I'm like, okay, this is what the feminine energy is. It's love, it's care, it's affection. You know, I gotta stop labeling the feminine energy as just being female.
Right.
It's just a softness when I think of that. So I want to go to this next clip. It's speaking about softness. It's speaking about,
Is this me?
It's speaking about love, and so I want to
love and softness.
So I want to tap into this. Let's play this clip.
Let's do it.
First, it takes a certain type of man to even be able to handle a situation where he's managing 2 or more relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, I feel like I can only do 2. I can't do more than 2.
2 at once.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I could only do 2 or whatever, right? What's the highest duty of a man?
The highest duty of a man?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Protection, like just making me feel like I'm okay, like I'm good with you. So I feel protected in more than one way. So safe
so
and
boom.
financially
So
together.
Okay.
It go hand in hand.
Providing.
Yeah,
Can
provider.
we all agree
That's
to that?
what
For
anyone
sure.
would
And
say.
supportive, mentally, physically.
But what would Trump? I mean,
No, but
provide
what's the
would come
highest
above
duty?
that. What
Not
would
the
you provide?
only duty, but what's the highest duty?
Probably
of a man?
provide. That would
So
probably
you mean
be it.
financially?
So, all right.
Yeah,
so
like-
when it comes to, yeah, I got to chill. When it comes to providing, financially is probably the biggest aspect of that in capitalist America, in the society that we live in. A man has to be able to provide for his family, right? That's pretty much most women's expectation of a man, and that's most men's expectation of themselves. However, that's not the only way a man is supposed to provide. A man needs to be able to provide guidance and leadership.
That's for me. That's what I've been
For me, what I need
Yeah.
from a man, I need him to provide me with inspiration. That's all I need.
Okay, so look, this is the point that I'm getting to. This is the point that I'm getting to. You see, most women haven't come across a man who's able to provide financially and intellectually,
Fucking
spiritually,
right, Joey.
emotionally,
This is what I'm saying.
physically, all of that
is what I
shit.
mean.
You know what I'm saying? So, of course, at a first glance, it would be like, oh yeah, I could never do that because most women have not been introduced to that type of man.
That's a fucking
And,
point.
You know, to be real, not a lot of these men exist because the way society has groomed us all is corrupted.
Woo, Joey. First of all, you was in a room full of women and you held your ground
spitting.
in that interview. You had them all like, I hear you. But do you still feel the same way that you feel in this interview today?
Yeah. With that take, there's some pieces in that interview where I'm like, okay, I feel like my perspective has shifted. But with that take, yeah, I still feel pretty aligned with that idea.
So when you say, you know, a man is supposed to protect and provide, what is a woman's job for you in that situation? Because, again, don't you want to feel appreciated? Or, like, if you're doing all of those things, what do you expect on the other side?
Well, nurture, you know, nourishment, home, care, love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Comfort,
Yeah,
stability,
yeah,
peace.
yeah.
Ultimately, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a woman's role is to make sure that, like, you know, home is safe. You know, as a man, well, there's different balances, right, that exist today. There's different dynamics. But if we're talking about a more traditional approach, it's like, you know, the man is taking care of everything on the outside or whatever. But, you know, I'm not fixed on that idea. I'm very aware that there are multiple dynamics that can exist because our society is very different.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching a video the other day, and it was saying that the reason why there are more like, single parent homes and stuff like that is because the economy has changed. And the relationship society is always a reflection of the economy. So when we was living in more like a industrial type of things, the men would go to the factories, right, and work, and the woman needed a man to take care of the bills and stuff like that. But now, where you got social media and you got, people working from home and all of these different, and
women are bosses now too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so much more flexible. It's like women are more in, well, we all are. We're more in a position where it's like, okay, like I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? Like how you were saying, like you live alone for how long? Because
now it feels weird if someone's in my space.
Yeah, you don't need right. You don't need to. You can survive on your own.
Yeah, marriage isn't something that is what. And I had another segment about this, but marriage isn't the first thing that's on people's mind these days.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's very different, and I think that it varies from dynamic to dynamic.
Because I was going to say, you said that it's not a lot of men that can handle it. And when you say handle it, can you expand on that? Like, what do you mean handle?
Well,
when you say multiple women, because I know you said, you can handle 2 women at one time, but you don't believe that other men can do that. It's just not.
Well, some. I don't believe all men.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't say I believe.
Yeah, no, right.
Like, all y'all niggas can't do that shit. Only me. Nah, I think what it takes is a certain type of man to be able to be honest, to be able to be compassionate and understanding. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with 2 women. Yeah. There's already a lot dealing with 1 woman. Yeah. So you're dealing with 2, you know what I'm saying?
You really got to be honest.
Double the compassion, double the understanding, double the emotional intelligence, right?
Does that not drain you, though? Don't you not think like, shit, 1 woman is enough. I don't need, or you feel like you can handle it.
Well, yeah,
Clearly
you will. In my experience, it is definitely something that can, what's the word? Take up a lot of time and energy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's also something that could really motivate you. Motivate you and inspire you because, your heart is aligned and you're being honest and you're being truthful and you're also being accepted. Because, I also feel like one of our purposes as a man or just as the masculine, the mission of the masculine is to pursue freedom. You know what I'm saying? So it's an ultimate freedom in knowing that, I'm not lying to anybody. I'm being honest and being straightforward.
And they accepting you.
And I'm being accepted for who I am.
Yeah, I think a lot of women.
Empowering.
I think a lot of women, a lot of men don't understand that. Like, if you honest, you never know how that woman gonna react to you.
No, that's a fact.
I tell people that all the time. Like, why are you lying? Like, you don't have to lie. What you don't know is if you would have told the truth, I probably took you and your girl down. But because you're lying now, fuck you and her. I want to fight her. Like in my head,
I feel like men tell the truth more though.
You think so? Than women? Than women?
Yes.
I think women know how to conceal better. I don't think that they lie more. Y'all look at somebody in their face.
Well, it depends. It depends on the man. And, I guess we might lie better, but I guess we might lie more. Y'all lie better.
We lie better. That's
and y'all hide better. You know what I'm saying? We don't. Well, I got to speak for myself. I'm not going to get anybody else caught up in my nonsense. I'm just going to speak on my own. I'm going to down the hill by myself. Yeah. Because I'm a real man. But shit. Honesty is key. I think transparency is key. But there's also your people who can't handle honesty.
They can't. They lose their goddamn mind.
They almost rather be, they'd rather live in the blind.
I actually was in a recent situation. Well, the last 2 situations I was in, the first one, he was honest with me. He told me what it was, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. They out here cheating anyway. At least I know who you with, and we just got this open situation. It still didn't work out because in my head, I couldn't live with it. I was like, nah, Jazz, this ain't you.
It's like this. So you with somebody else right now while I'm thinking about you?
Right. Like, I'm calling you and you with who? No, can't have that happen. But then the last situation, the guy just was like, I just got so much going on. I really like you. Like, I promise you I like you. Just got so much going on. Men are so stupid. He hides me from his story. Like women don't have Finsta pages or fake pages. I go to my fake page and look, behold, he's with a whole nother woman. I'm just like, this is some bull shit, Joey. I don't understand the lies. But
tell the truth.
Tell the truth. Thank you. Well, let's go to this next clip.
Or get smarter.
Get smarter. God damn it. I do want to go to this next clip. It's speaking about success. So let's talk about it.
Success to me is just subjective. It's truly whatever it is that makes you happy.
Right? My success isn't just success. His success isn't mine. Like it shouldn't be that way. So it's about what you feel you want to do. And as long as you're moving forward at a pace that works for you and you're finding happiness in it, then that's success.
Okay, so I want to go to my first opinionator. Her name is OG. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Danka. She said, success is when you can turn back around and lift someone up. Can you expand on that?
I think it's important to consider, can you turn around and lift someone back up, right? Can you employ someone? Can you offer some kind of mentorship where you say, I have experienced X, Y, and Z. This is what I did. It didn't work out for me. I did this instead. It worked out better long-term. Can you provide some kind of guidance? I think that's what really defines if you've achieved the level of success or not.
So Joey, you've been successful in so much. I mean, you are on your way to get I don't want to say this wrong, an EGOT? Am I saying that right? I don't want to start ignorant. So success has hit you every way in every direction, but what does success look like for you?
Well, I like is it Danka?
Danka, yeah.
I like what she had to say because I share a similar sentiment. Like I feel that our mission, especially when you're on like your path of greatness or following your purpose, you got to inspire the next generation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely have a higher level of respect for people who have made it to a certain level and,
turn back
give
around.
Back to the communities, but not just in charitable ways like, oh, let me just give you things, but like, nah, let me give you the tools, let me give you the knowledge, let me give you the resources that you would need to like help expedite the process. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, because we live in a society where there's a lot of individuality, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people just thinking for themselves. So
selfish.
It's always a beautiful thing to see, people make it to certain heights or to certain distances and turn back around and want to help the people who's coming up.
Just like you did for me today.
For sure.
I want to go to my next comment, my opinionator. She says success is when, I'm so sorry. I thought I had one more. Oh, yes. Success is peace within your home, health, body, and peace of mind. When you're silenced, the chaos, you won. And to me, that's success. Goldilocks, can you expand on that?
In a world where there's just so many external forces from peers, friends, family, especially social media, I think in order to be successful, it's the ability to silence those voices and to focus on the voice within, and allowing that voice within to guide you to your needs, your wants, and to your level of success. And even though you may not have achieved success yet, you are en route, but just the ability en route to silence the external forces and focus on what it is that you want and need, to me, that is the win.
So how do you cut out those voices in your head?
Got to stay focused.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to know that where you're headed is way more greater and way more important than where you currently are.
100%.
And you got to also accept, like the sooner that you can accept that there will always be people that exist who see you as this older version of yourself, or who doesn't necessarily see you where you see yourself, even though you've made it to a certain point. Yeah. As long as you can accept that those people will always exist, you should have no problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you get hung up on that a little bit, like dealing with different dynamics of people, friends and family, and it's like, you almost feel like they don't respect you. You know what I'm saying? Or like they feel entitled to what it is that you get, or they try to they try to downplay it as if like you didn't put hours in time and energy into where you got. You know what I'm saying? So once you can accept that and stay focused, man, you should have no problem. And I agree, because that's integrity right there, and that's a personal success. And for me, that's something that's always been important. Like, I'll feel successful about something that nobody even knows.
Yeah.
Because is me having a rapport with myself and holding myself to a certain standard and knowing that I honored that.
Yeah.
So like, that makes me feel personally successful.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I mean, for me, I'm 31. I'm like, fuck, I don't have no kids yet. I don't have the house yet. And those thoughts, they be hitting me. They hit me like I said before, like a ton of bricks, you know? But when I sit back and I think about where I was when I was 18 years old, and, I was in that car with my boyfriend and he got murdered and killed, just coming to New York for the first time, and I looked at my mom in her eye and I'm like, are you really leaving me here? Or just graduating from college, just the many steps that I took. I have to sit back and be like, Jazz, you did a good job. Regardless of, like, you might not have what society says you should have at this age. I know for me as a woman and a lot of women, and you could speak to this too, it's like when you get to a certain age, pressures hit you. Yeah. And they hit you to the point where it's like, do you feel successful? Do you feel accomplished? Do you feel like you made it?
Right. And those thoughts weigh a little bit heavier too when you're thinking about other people's opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta even stay focused on your own personal journey, because when you are able to hone in and be like, yo, Jazz, where you was at when you was 18 or where you was at now, it's like, that's something that nobody could take away from
Can't take away from me.
Nobody was there for that but you.
Yeah.
You know
and like you
saying?
said, it goes back to you saying too, when, you look for people to like, your family and your friends to support you, and you want people to just be like, woohoo, woohoo, and then you do something and you're like, why are these people not, why do I have to tell you to give me free support?
Yeah, because, sometimes your light illuminates others' darkness. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that you got to be like
aware of.
That's a weird thing that happens too on this journey to success or to wherever you get into. Is like you start turning up your luminosity, and it exposes the darkness in people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel that.
Yeah, and then there's a difference between being bright and being warm. It's like, think about the sun. You know what I mean? It's like you got bright lights, like spotlights, but then you also got the sun that actually like warms you when you feel the light.
Yeah.
So it's different ways to like project that.
That light.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know for me too, people always tell me I got a light, but then it's like you say, you walk through the room and you got this big energy.
Right.
Some people don't fuck with it though. Some people be like, who do you think you are? You're not Oprah yet, Jasmine.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
and that's only, a reflection of their own insecurities. Yeah. Because deep down, they really wish that they had the confidence that you got.
I like that. Yeah. Thank you for that. I love that. I love that. Let's go to this next piece. Want to play this clip?
Entertainment and reality is very different, but I do think some of the entertainers make their entertainment their reality also. If I said that right.
Nah, you did.
Nah, like, don't get me wrong too, like a lot of people who you'll see today, that's 100% who they is. Like, I don't doubt it. Like, a lot of rappers today, like, man, half of them probably 100% who they is. But I guarantee you, bro, majority of them, nah. Man, it'd be like this, bro. You'll look at all these rappers' videos. You're gonna see a gun in his video, right? You go to the next one, he got a gun in his video, right? Man, you gotta dig a little deeper sometime, bro. All right, now look at his mama. His mama ain't no gangster, so how the fuck is he a gangster? That shit don't be adding up, bro.
Don't try to sit on.
Don't try.
Don't try.
So, when did you learn? I know you started off at 16. That's when I first met you. Innocent. Getting into this entertainment industry, like, when did you know and had to, like, bring to realization that I have to separate this entertainment world from my reality? When did that moment click for you?
Well, to be honest, it never really clicked for me. Like, I never really had that moment because my reality was what I was using to entertain people. I wasn't doing anything that I wasn't actually doing. You know, we was skating through the streets, ganged up, rapping.
Yeah, right.
That's how we entertained. It was really what we was living. You know what I'm saying? It was our lifestyle. So,
but I mean, now, how long you been in the industry?
It's my 11th year.
So, I mean, 11 years, you've seen a lot. I mean, do you ever feel like, okay, Joe, you can't go to the club and pop bottles and, but I'm not saying you do that, but there has to be like this line where you like, this is my real life,
Yeah.
and this is just entertainment, Joey.
Well, I definitely do remember a point in my career where, because the way we came up, like we was street kids.
Yeah.
Like we was outside. We would ride our bikes from Brooklyn, come to the city. You know what I mean? Like skateboards. We outside. Like we really was outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I remember there was this point in my career where I was like, yo, I'm too accessible. You know what I mean? I gotta I'm not the same Joey that I was when I first came out
On a skateboard.
Yeah, when this was cool, like I'm kind of like somebody now. You know what I'm saying? I'm a target even, so I gotta be like a little bit more mindful and things of that nature. And then that's when I started
realizing you gotta move what is it called, militant, like a little bit.
Well, we always moved militant. You know what I mean? Because we moved like army.
That's what I'm saying. Right,
we always moved militant. But I just felt like I had to just be a little bit more evasive. Like I couldn't linger the same amount of time anymore. I had to say no to certain events. I couldn't, you know what I mean? I couldn't go everywhere.
You can't just have anybody around you.
Yeah, I couldn't just have anybody around me, stuff like that.
Yeah. So in this space that you're in right now, how do you feel 11 years in, do you feel like the people around you, you just have a good team, you have a good energy, you don't have to deal with what a lot of these rappers and entertainers having to deal with right now?
11 years later, my circle is very small. Yeah. It's very small.
I believe you.
You know what I mean? 11 years later, I don't need much at all. Where before, 11 years ago, damn, 11 years ago, it was
100 little boys around
everywhere
you.
I went, it was 100 people with me damn near. You know what I'm saying? We was mobbing everywhere, and I missed out on a lot like that because I felt that I had to bring everybody with me, and I had to learn that hard lesson. Everybody can't go. I was leaving myself out the building because my 7 mans can't get in with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My 7 mans who, not to say they don't got a purpose there, but the opportunity was mine, though.
Yeah.
You
it
know
wasn't
what I
to bring
mean?
the other 15 people with you.
Yeah, and it's I was losing out on opportunities because I was not thinking about myself, ultimately.
Did that when you say you have a small circle and the people that you do have now, how did you have to, not say push people out your life, but how did you make those relationships not bad because you had to distance yourself? Because you have to distance yourself from people. You don't want them to think you got nothing against them.
Yeah. First of all, I have this conversation with my little brother all the time because he's in high school now. And I be having to tell him, yo, listen, 95% of the people that you hanging out with now is not going to be your friends in 5 years.
That's the damn truth.
5, 7 years. Ain't going to be your friend. Yeah. So it's the reality of it is life be lifing. On his own. You know what I'm saying? Life going life.
Life is going life.
And with whatever life presents, you move accordingly.
Yeah.
And, you figure out things that work, things that don't work. People who work, people who don't work. And, you got to ultimately make the best decision for you. When I first had my daughter, that was a shocking moment for me as well because I was like, wow, I only got one kid.
Yeah.
I only got one kid for real.
For real,
this is the only person who I'm actually required to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
One child.
That's it.
Everybody. Then I had to start reevaluating whoa. You know what I'm saying?
People
I had this obligation to take care of people, and people had this entitlement for me to take care of them.
I believe you.
So.
I want to go to one of my opinionators, S. Marie Beauty. She said he may be regurgitating what we knew, but he also has a large fan base of mainly suburban kids who glorify the street life. I'm glad he's speaking on this in hopes of changing the narrative. Can you expand on that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I wanted to say was when I was in those comments, I saw I saw a lot of people saying, oh, well, he's repeating something that we already knew and da-da-da-da-da. But NBA YoungBoy has one of the largest fan base ever. And the majority of his fan base comes from those suburban kids who they really not outside. They've never had a glimpse of being outside. And some people think that it's fun. But the people who live that street life sometimes they don't even want to really be in it. So it's like these kids are listening to the music that's being put out there now in hopes of like, oh, they are doing this on a day-to-day basis, so it's fun. No, it doesn't matter if, because I've heard someone else say, oh, well, he's faking, or he's this, or he's that. It doesn't matter. The message that he's putting out there is for the youth to know, like, there's way too much violence going on for no reason. Like, you could bump somebody, step on their shoe, and somebody ready to kill you. And it's not that deep. So that's what I meant by the message that he puts out there. Maybe he can change how the youth views things. Like, this isn't real. Like, some of your favorites aren't living this lifestyle. Yeah. So
I think that's why I always appreciated you, Joey, because you really just, again, a lot of people think that they have to go and be gangster to be rappers, or they have to pull out a gun and show it on Instagram, or they have to do drugs. It's like, you've always been yourself. Where did you get that from? Where did you get that energy from, where you felt like you didn't have to fall into all of that extra shit?
Honestly, my mother.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I remember the first time I told my mom was that, I wanted to rap, or I just that I had the interest. And, she was with her friend, and it was like, all right, so rap, let's hear you, right? And I had this verse that my older cousin had helped me write, and it was just a lot of, it was like, my name is Little J and I got the 9. You mess with me and I blow off your mind. They hating cause I be on my grind. So a whole bunch of shit that I just didn't know about. You feel me? That it wasn't really me.
Yeah.
So when I rapped it, it's my mom, she laughed and she was like, do you even know what a 9 is? And I was like 7, 7, 8, 9, some shit like that. I'm like, no. She was like, then don't rap about it. She was like, if you want to do this, that's cool, but make sure you stick to what you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She gave me some advice like that. And my dad gave me similar advice as well. Literally same exact story. I rapped for him and he kind of told me the same shit.
Rap what you really know.
Yeah, he was like, stick with what you know, rap about the shit that you know about or what you go through. And then from there, that was a moment for me where I felt like they was giving me acceptance for what I wanted to do, but they just kind of redirected me. You know what I'm saying? And
what your parents supposed to do?
Yeah. From there, it was just like, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
I never really stepped outside of, what it was that was my world.
So question, when you see these kids, like she said, the suburban kids, and they just getting so influenced, or you just see kids in general following the lead of some of these rappers, how can we change that? How can we change, for you being a leader, what is it attracting them to that type of lifestyle versus listening to more, music that's pushing them into a positive direction? Is it just people like toxic shit? Because I'm still trying to figure out.
People do like toxic shit. People do like trauma. I mean, for me, all right, if I was 50 years old and I was a rap pioneer, rap legend, very revered.
Which you will be.
Which I will be, but I am not yet, right? Mm-hmm. But if I was very respected, boom, 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 damn near the richest rapper in the game, whatever, I would call for some type of hip-hop coalition. And, with my power and the respect that I have, that I know I have, that these youngsters have for me, I would, pretty much try to restore some type of order. Yeah. And, do something maybe once a year, twice a year, where all the rappers get together, and they're gonna get together because it's me who called them, because I'm the guy. I would establish some type of accountability within the community. You know what I'm saying? I would talk to these younger guys and I'd be like, look, listen, shit, first of all, y'all at my house, so y'all ain't in the hood no more. Cause I'm sitting on 100 acres.
Let's
y'all
talk
see
about
where we
it.
at. You know what I mean? So y'all, the shit gotta change. You know what I'm saying? We wanna see this room grow every year.
Yeah.
So the purpose is to change the messaging out there, you know what I'm saying, to have a positive impact on our community, because the reality is music is such a powerful force and such an influential force.
It's so powerful.
And it's a lot of these kids, while they might not be living these lives, they listen to this music enough times and they think that they can live the life.
Yes.
And ultimately they start living the life.
But the thing that confuses me the most is when they do see these rappers, and again, I'm not trying to bring people cases up, but like Young Thug or other people that's putting guns and stuff, you would think they would learn from it. But instead, I feel like it entices them to even go harder in this sport.
Well, it's like to them, the way that they're looking at it is like, okay, yeah, Young Thug might be dealing with a trial now, but what about this 8 years where he was on top of his game and he was the coolest nigga in the game?
So they just want to live 8 years out and they don't really care about the... It's just,
first of all, a lot of us ain't even thinking past 25.
That's
either.
true.
I was one of them. I remember when I turned 25 years old and I was like, it was a whole epiphany for me that I had because I'm like, wow, I did not think about life
after
to this
this
point.
Yeah.
After this.
Yeah.
I literally did not think about my life after that point. I didn't think I was gonna live that long, to be honest with you.
I wonder how many black men think that way.
A lot of my friends died young before 25. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like coming up, being young is like I didn't have that life expectancy in my mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, we gonna do what we can with this short amount of time. So that's how, unfortunately, that's how a lot of our mindsets are. But yeah, if I was that dude, you know, that's how that would be my contribution. That would be my, the new thing that I would try.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of old things that we keep repeating, but then there's a lot of new ideas that is like we're almost afraid to try.
Ooh, so on point. You just spoke about, you know, you losing a lot of people and you didn't see your life past 25. So I want to play this next clip.
When I was 17, I lost one of my best friends to suicide.
That's tricky too. We all have that feeling. I've thought that many of times. We all have that feeling. Creative minds. That's when I was polarity. I was reading this book and it was saying most of the creative minds go that dark route when they stop creating. That's why when you hear a lot of people who are creative, people who hurt themselves, there's something that goes on and says, I'm no good anymore, I can't create. Man's a compound of needs and necessities that could never be satisfied. And at any time when they do seem to appear to be satisfied, they're bored and they're bored and they're not happy.
Right?
Yeah.
Is it ego? What is
No,
it?
it's just some individuals. They're the greatest of all time. But they got that big hole in them that can't get full.
It's a void.
They can't fill that hole.
Yeah.
How do you feel that hole, Mike?
Oh, it's an inside job, brother. Ain't out here. Can't get nothing out here to do it.
Life be lifing, right? And so when you said that you lost your friend when you was younger, I resonated with you so much because you know my backstory. But do you find that, and for me, I'm just speaking about me, I found that when my boyfriend did pass away, it gave me so much more purpose to my life. And it also gave me, and I don't want to sound harsh to say this, but I felt like it took for him to die for me to live, you know? So I'm curious, do you feel similar? Like, how do you feel at this point in your life, everything you've been through, you know, do you find meaning in it?
Yeah, I definitely find meaning in it today. You know, I have a 4-year-old daughter who's gonna be 5, and, you know, that gives me the most meaning because as a girl dad and as also just a man who's navigated the world and has interacted with many women, many fatherless women, it's so important to me to live long enough to have certain conversations with my daughter. Like repeatedly, like, you know, it's so important to me to be there in her life, to be present. So it's like, if it's like, that is the #1 mission of my life, like as far as me living is. Because like creatively, purposely, like I've already feel like I've done so much. Like, you know, if, God forbid, but if I was to have no more breath today, I know my art has left a big enough of an imprint, and, you know, with me not being here, it'll only get bigger. But my sole purpose, like, if I'm like on that bed or in between that state of that near-death experience, I'm gonna be begging God, like, I have to go back for Indigo. Like, I gotta go back for her. I don't care about nothing else. I gotta go back for her. Like, it's conversations we didn't have yet. You can't take me now. Like, nah, you know what I'm saying? So
I found so much purpose just like, and especially in the last 2-3 years of my life, like I don't have kids, right? I want to have that purpose, but like I got something to live for. But then when I look back, like, and I said this earlier, it's like when you accomplish so much, you have to almost say, all right, God, you have me here for some reason. There's a bigger purpose on my life, whether it's to impact your daughter or whether it's to impact the world or, you know, like I said, just being nice to somebody. You're here to live another day for that reason.
Right.
Again, life be lifing. And I just really wanted to have this conversation with you. And I'm happy you sat down with me and did it.
I told you I would.
I know you told me you would. And I think it was, you know, I got everything out of you that I wanted to.
Yeah,
so
no
I
doubt.
appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're ready.
Life be lifing. And today I wanted to have a real conversation with a real human being that has been through his shares of trials and tribulation, but yet with grace, a clear mindset to know the difference between perception and reality, and the ability to realize when it's okay to not be okay, but letting it translate into greatness is what I pray you got out of today. Growth is beautiful, being transparent is beautiful, and being authentically you is the real goals. I'm honored to not only call you a brother and a friend, Joey, but a true leader to our generation. Thank you, and thank you to my opinionators. Can you drop your social media even though everybody knows who you are?
At Joey Badass on everything. And I want to thank you, my lovely sister. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
This was amazing. I enjoyed the conversation. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I'll come back anytime.
Each and every one of you has an opinion and it matters, or maybe it doesn't. I pray regardless that this conversation opens your mind up to just more than your opinion. I'm Jahze Yvette, and this is Too Many Opinions Finale.